Hi. If any of you are small streamers, you might know what I'm talking about here. The Twitch artist. And if you are not a Twitch streamer or you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, let me clue you in. There's these people that go around on Twitch streams and they come to your stream and then they say hi, how are you? Everything's all good and jolly. They ask you like, what kind of games you play? What kind of things do you eat or something? And then they just like try to make conversation basically. But then usually these people eventually they'll start hitting you up with like, do you want to buy my art? Do you want to buy my art? It's like, you could use some art. So basically what they mean by art is like new avatar, more Twitch panels, animations or some shit like that. But these fuckers are everywhere. And they're kind of annoying. And I get them all the time, even though I don't really stream very often. If you want to follow my stream, it's Cage of Legend. But basically, these people, if you get usually, like if you're a small streamer who gets 1 to 5 viewers, or something like that, you might have came across these people before, and you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And you always say like, oh, you're not interested. But like the thing that really irks me about these people is that they always like to pretend as if they care about your stream and shit. Like usually if someone comes to my stream and they're being too nice and they're asking like, what kind of games you play? It's like, blah, blah, blah. How are you? And shit like that. Then I'm like, something's up here. Are you an artist? And, of course, it's usually always yes, because they try to make connections and they're trying to make money. But, an example of one person that I came across, and sometimes they'll just randomly add you on Discord. But there's this one person I was watching on stream and he was getting like 1 to 2 viewers. I was just chatting this chat. No biggie, just chilling. And then this other person came in his chat. I'm like, I can sort of tell that they were like, they're an artist person because you can sort of tell by their profile picture and shit. And sometimes they just straight up say it and they're like, you go to their Twitch and then you like look at their Instagram. It's like, I make art for people and shit like that. So you can kind of tell when they're an artist, especially by their profile pic. You know, I was just playing along. They were like asking me how I am and shit like that. Like they were talking to me more than the actual streamer, which is also quite weird. I was just talking and then they're like wanting to add me on Discord. So I was like, fuck, I'll go along with it. Fuck it. So, and then I went along with it. And then, of course, Discord labels them as a likely spammer whenever they say something in chat. So it's like, or in the Discord, then you have to like unhide it or whatever. So I was like, interesting. Another red flag here. Another sussy baka. So I was like, why is this person labeled as spam? Probably because they spam this shit to everyone. They probably talk to a million people. It's like, buy my art, or whatever. And then they wanted to add me on, like as a friend. So I was like, all right, fine, add me as a friend. And then I started talking to them. I'm not going to like leak the DMs, but it's like, I'm not going to say who it is because that would be just a bitch move. Basically, they're kind of being like all nice at first. And then they started becoming like condescending and shit. They're saying like they're looking over my Twitch channel and they're like kind of judging it. It's like, oh, it's all right, but it could be better if you take my services, if you like give me money so I can like make you better art or whatever. I was like, I see what you mean. Yeah, they're not the greatest. I know. They're like, I made them myself. They're kind of shit, but it's like, they always try to make it seem as if like you have to have better art and you have to have better graphics and all that in order to like engage your audience. But I'm like, personally, I don't believe that shit. I believe that you actually have to have a good fucking stream. Your stream is number one. You're like, nobody gives a shit how good your overlay is or your artwork. Like, I mean, it could be like, it makes you look professional and shit like that. But if you're a shitty streamer or something, like, it doesn't matter how good your art is. No one's going to want to watch that shit. I honestly prefer it if you don't have like a crazy overlay. I honestly don't care how good the art is. Like, even if the guy had like no description or anything like that, but if he was a good streamer and I enjoyed watching him and I would watch anyway, I don't care how good his art is or whatever. Like how good his like, you know, animations are and shit. Like, I just don't like they always try to make it seem as like you have to have like good art in order to like gain an audience. But I was like, I personally don't believe that shit. This person in particular was being a bit condescending. They're saying like, your setup is fine to some extent, but if you're not really passionate about it, why do you have it? And it's like, of course, they're like judging. It's like, why bother doing something if you don't, you know, take it all the way? And it's like, they're kind of being judgy. And I'm like saying, yeah, I just stream for fun from time to time. And then I quote them, why do I have it? Because I can. And it's like, it may not be up to your standards, but it's good enough for me. And then I'm just saying like, I know your goal is to sell me art, but you're coming off a bit condescending because they're like saying like, oh, it's all right, but it could be better kind of thing. If you like, obviously let me do it and just like, PayPal me some dollars. If you're going to do something, you got to do it properly. Like as if like, I'm not doing it fucking properly. What is proper? How do you define that? It's not the greatest Twitch panels or whatever the fuck ever. And like the profile pic could be better. Like you probably, if anyone's watching this, you probably see my profile pic. I didn't do that myself. I actually hired some guy with like Fiverr or something to do it. Like, yeah, it's not the greatest shit ever, but it's like good enough for me. And then I'm like, another note, all these artists come after me saying, oh, they need all these brilliant animations to improve my stream. And I'm like, I guarantee you that won't do jack shit. Like the most important about the stream is the fucking stream itself, not the overlays, not the profile pic, not the panels, the stream itself, which makes sense to me. And then they're like, I'm not trying to offend you. I can see you made your profile panels yourself or whatever, your Twitch panels. And it's like, they're quite simple, as in like, they're kind of dog shit. Like they're trying not to like, insult me, but it's like, I can sort of tell they're insulting me. They're quite simple, as in, they're kind of trash. Simple as in trash? What do you mean simple? What's wrong with being simple? If you want something that really represents that you do as a streamer, you want to consider making them a bit differently. Something like that. They try to justify their art thing that I'm like, I know you're trying to come off as nice, but I just don't need it. You say no, basically, and these people just keep coming. I just don't really think it matters that much. But like, of course, these artists want to make you think that matters a lot because you want to, pay them and give them money. And it sounded like this person was doing a script, but I don't know, because they're like typing really fast. And then they started saying, I was like, oh, this sounds like a script, because they're like, it didn't show that they were typing. It just showed like typing for 2 seconds. And then there's a huge message, which makes me think it was like copy and pasted. I don't need the art. And it's like, there's a reason why Discord is labeling you as a spammer. Probably because you spam these people all the time, like trying to go to different servers, adding different people, asking for art and blah, 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 trying to make connections or whatever. It's like a door-to-door salesman. Like, nobody gives a fuck, bro. Like, nobody has time for that shit. They're like, this is not a script, nor is it from any company. And then they started making me feel bad about them, saying like, I'm a disabled person. I can't do anything. I can't earn much. And not everyone likes what I do. And it's like, you got that right. And they're like, I need to pay rent. I need to do this. I don't have enough for that. They have like no money. They can't pay for rent. They can't do anything, which doesn't surprise me because I can't imagine you making a lot of money doing this thing. I don't know if this person's lying or not. Like, they could easily be lying, but like, if they're telling the truth, that is very unfortunate. I'm like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me feel bad for you so I can give you money. I don't know if that's true or not, but anything else you say could easily be a lie, because obviously, like, anyone could be typing anything. Even if it's true from what you're saying, I apologize. I'm really sorry for that. This person literally just started begging me for money. And it's like, if you could do anything to help, I would really appreciate it and I would really respect you. So at this point, this person's just begging. I told them, like, if you're telling me the truth, then I'm sorry about that. And they're just like, all right, no worries. It's all good. So there's that. These people are desperate. And this is just an example of that. Like, they come to your chat and they pretend to be all nice, which is really what really irks me, is that like pretending to be all nice and thing. And then just eventually they'll just come out with the fucking like, boom, buy my art. Boom, I want to show you some shit. I want to show you some good animations that I made that you could have if you want for like $100 or however much they charge. But that's the thing that irks me, is they're like fake niceness. And then they just hit you with the sales pitch. But I think people deserve respect regardless. But I wasn't being the nicest person ever, I'll be honest. I was being kind of a dick. But like, I don't know, like, there's so many of these people. My patience wears thin after a while. But I was talking to this person for a bit and they just started begging. So I was like, yeah. So that's it. See ya.